The window creaked softly as she slid it open. Cool night air rushed in, carrying the faint smell of rain-soaked earth. Her heart pounded not from fear, but excitement, freedom. But she has forgotten that nothing in life is free, not even freedom. Because freedom comes at a cost. Welcome to Deadend Stories. The house felt quiet. Not peaceful quiet, but rather the kind that presses against your ears. Like something is waiting, lurking in the dark. 15-year-old Jasmine Cruz sat cross-legged on her bed, staring at the glowing screen of her phone. The message blinked again. Today midnight. I'll be outside. Don't chicken out, Jay. She rolled her eyes, but her fingers hovered longer than they should have. Downstairs, her parents' voices drifted faintly, sharp, controlled, tense. They had been arguing more lately about money and family-related issues, about things Jasmine wasn't supposed to hear. Jasmine got grounded because of the suspension she had received in school earlier that day for skipping classes. Her mother's words still rang in her head. You don't understand or appreciate the importance of education, Jasmine. The sacrifices we make to ensure you get the best out of life. Maybe she didn't. But she understood one thing. She was tired of being treated like a baby, a prisoner in her own home. At 11:42 p.m., the front door slammed, silence and the low hum of her parents' car engine fading into the distance. Jasmine stood still, listening. Waiting as minutes go by, she made her move. The window creaked softly as she slid it open. Cool night air rushed in, carrying the faint smell of rain-soaked earth. Her heart pounded not from fear, but excitement, freedom. A soft whistle came from below. It's Jay as he leaned casually against the fence, hands in his hoodie pocket. Streetlight shadow cut across his face, making his smile look sharper than usual. Thought you'd bail on me, he whispered. Jasmine smirked. You wish. She climbed down carefully, landing beside him. For a second, just a second, she hesitated. Something felt off, but Jay took her hand reassuringly. Misgivings evaporates. They both strolled to the car parked around the corner, waiting. Engine steaming, a black sedan car with tinted windows. Jasmine slowed when they got close. Whose car is this? Jay didn't answer immediately. A friend's, he said casually. The word lingered. Before she could ask any more questions, the back door flew open from inside. Don't move! A man's voice, low, calm, get in. Jasmine froze. Her instincts screamed, but fear spoke louder. She stepped forward and got in. The door shut instantly. The sound echoed louder than it should have. Jasmine turned. Two men in front. One driving, the other watching her through the rearview mirror. Jay slid in beside her. But he didn't look at her. Neither did he smile. Didn't say anything. Her chest tightened. Jay, she whispered. He finally turned. And for the first time, she didn't recognize him. 12:03 a.m. The car started moving fast. Too fast. Jasmine's voice shook. Where are we going? No answer. She reached for the handle. It was locked. Her breathing quickened. This isn't funny. Still nothing. Then the man in the passenger seat spoke. Your father should pay his debts. The words dropped like ice water. Jasmine blinked. What? Jay exhaled slowly, avoiding her eyes. Sorry, he muttered. That's when it hit her. This wasn't random or a date. This wasn't even about her. She was leveraged. Next door across the street, behind half-closed curtains, Mr. Darlington watched. He hadn't meant to yet. He saw everything. The girl climbing out from her bedroom window. The boy waiting. The car packed outside around the curve engine streaming. And something in his gut twisted. Inside the car, Jasmine's mind raced. Think, girl, think her phone. She slipped her hand slowly into her hoodie pocket. The man in front noticed. Don't! Her heart stopped. He turned slightly, eyes cold. Don't make this harder for herself. Jay finally spoke. Just cooperate, Jasmine. His voice almost pleading. That hurt more than anything. You set me up, she whispered. He didn't respond. Couldn't. I didn't know it would go this far, he said quietly. But she could hear the lie inside the truth. Still seated, trapped in the back of the saddened car, her father's voice echoed in her head. You must be careful, sweetheart. Trust no one. The world is filled with troubled people. People willing to do anything to get by. Jasmine swallowed. Fear engulfed her. Even at a young age, Jasmine knew the implication of fear. This was not the time to panic. If she panicked, she was gone. If she stayed quiet, she might get a chance for clarity. She leaned back slowly, resting her head on the car rest. Pretended to have accepted her fate, whilst her finger was busy with her phone underneath. She pressed the audio record button. Mr. Presley, 65 years old, a retired service chief, observed everything from his room balcony. He was in the habit of sitting out late at night, observing events around him under the pretext of watching the stars. But something looked uneasy from the very moment he saw Jay step out from the stationary sedan car with tinted glasses. Parked at the curve, steaming, engine running. The brief discussion between Jay and the man on the passenger seat. Jasmine climbing down from her bedroom window with slippers on. This raised his suspicions, and something in his gut twisted. He leaned closer, squinted. He memorized the make and plate number impulsively. A black Toyota. Partial plate 24, phone in hand. No hesitation, he made the call. Emergency, please. Possible abduction. A teen girl. Black Toyota heading east. Plate begins with KF. 123H, he demanded immediate and swift response. That singular call changed everything. At exactly 1:25 p.m. inside the car, the driver cursed. Something was wrong. Sirens, faint but clear and getting closer. Jasmine's pulse spiked, but she stayed still. Didn't react. No sign of apprehension. The man turned, eyes sharp. What did you do? She shook her head slowly. Nothing. Jay looked at her, and for a moment, he thought he saw something. A shift in her attitude. She wasn't scared anymore. The car sped up, took a sharp turn, then another. Sirens grew louder now. The driver slammed the wheel. We've been flagged. Everything spiraled. Fast and messy. Desperate. In that chaos, Jasmine moved. She kicked the door hard. Once, twice. The lock cracked loose. The car swerved. Grab her, someone shouted. But it was too late. She threw the door open and jumped. Pain exploded through her body as she hits the road with a heavy thud. Darkness. Unconscious. Police lights flooded the street. The car was gone, but Jasmine wasn't. She lay on the roadside, unconscious, but alive. Hours later at the hospital, her eyes fluttered open, blurred lights, voices. Standing next to her was her father, and sitting beside her was her mother, broken, terrified but relieved. I'm sorry, he whispered, tears in his eyes. Not just for her, but for everything. Because he knew. Days later, at the police interrogation room, Jay sat alone, hands cuffed, sweating. A police officer placed a phone on the table and pressed play. Jasmine's voice, the recording, everything played out. Silence filled the room. Then the officer leaned in. Here's the part you didn't know. Jay looked up, confused. The officer smiled faintly. Your employers have been arrested and have duly confessed. Jay's face drained. You were never part of the plan, fool. The officer's voice hardened. You were the bait. You will be charged as accessories to kidnapping. Jasmine stood by her bedroom window weeks later, observing. Same street, the silence. But things ain't quite the same anymore. Her reflection stared back at her, older, stronger, wiser. She whispered softly. They thought I was the easiest way in. They didn't know I'd be the reason it all fell apart. If indeed you did enjoy this short but exciting story, kindly click and subscribe to Darkened Stories.